Today I have physical therapist Peter Piatasik with me here. Local Winter Haven physical therapist, TPI certified level 3 to talk golf and how to make your golf swing easier on your body. Thanks to Peter. Peter, welcome.
Thanks, Bob. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, I think that one of the things that drew me to Stack and Tilt was the 10 words. You know, it's a simplified system. It shows process, and I think that one of the ones that seemed to alleviate some of my pressure in my back. I've been blessed that I haven't had any real back issues, but the straightening of the right knee to kind of release that tension of the restricted right knee and grinding my upper body around it. And I know we've had discussions about that. That's one of those things that kind of releases the tension, so to speak, in that area where your upper torso is grinding against your lower hip girdle as it goes around. I think that's something you can probably add some insight to our folks. That a lot of people think of the straightening of the right knee as a fault in golf. We in the Stack and Tilt world know that if you look at an array of pictures of 100 golfers, even PGA Tour players, they all extend their knee to some degree.
Yeah, so a couple of things with that, with Stack and Tilt, the straightening of the right knee or the trail leg, it's all about management, I suppose, or controlling the range of motion. And most people usually run into problems when it's done in excess. The reason why you straighten that right knee in Stack and Tilt is to improve the rotation while you're keeping your weight forward. And then the other thing is when you're going into your follow through, we talk at the very end about tucking your hips, which is extremely important, that you're having actually activation of, you hear all the time, activating your glutes, which takes the pelvis and rotates it back. So you don't hinge with your low back. And that is, when that happens in excess, again, there's that word, then that's when people start running into problems.
Yeah, on tour, a latest example of that is somebody who struggled with the lack of knee flex is Jason Day. Very gifted golfer, very family man, nice guy, and to my opinion, he doesn't straighten his knee enough, so he's had all kinds of lower back issues that have really caused him some time in his career. Andy Plummer, the founder of the co-founder of Stack and Tilt, would always say, when we're teaching, no one lesson is the same. I think that leads you in. We have a system, we don't have a model. We're trying to put people into using all facets of the system to, make people better, make them enjoy the game, and allow them to play longer and healthier if possible. I think that should be a goal for all of us.
Yeah, one of the things that when we worked with Andy was the concept of taking components of the Stack and Tilt. You don't have to follow every single thing to a T. These are recommendations which hopefully you can find in your swing to improve your game, whether you're at position 6 or whether you're at the moment of truth or what your setup is like. But it helps though when you have a system and some organization up in your noggin as to what you're trying to accomplish when you're swinging the club.
And I think that a lot of times I tell people, I show those array of photos during my lessons, and I show them to look at the commonalities of all the great players and how they look very, very similar. They do similar characteristics. Maybe not too much of this or too much of that, but they all have kind of the same generalized look. And they may come from 1,000 different instructors, but all the best players in the world do all of the components that are in the Stack and Tilt system.
Something called the kinematic sequence, and how things go as you start your downswing to your finish. And that's exactly what happens is with tour players is they all have a just uncanny way of being able to go through this kinematic sequence and make it very efficient.
Sequencing of the movements is probably the key. It's why somebody who is a tour player can hit shots that look like a 15 handicap, and then sometimes a 15 handicap can pull off a tour player-like shot. And I think that we use our system in stack and tilt to try to explain why those things happen. And I think that's a value in the system that sometimes gets overlooked when we try to plug people into these, what we consider a model, even though stack and tilt is a system.